This is Jesse Goldberg-Strassler, joined by the Lansing Lugnuts' Rowdy Tellez. Rowdy, first, what do you enjoy most about baseball?
Playing every day, being on the field and living a dream that I've always wanted to live, trying to get to the big leagues.
How old were you when you first started playing?
I was about 6 years old when I started playing actually, not T-ball and getting out there and playing. I was playing with 8-year-olds and 9-year-olds, so I was always playing up.
Man, how old were you when you hit your first home run?
I don't remember. Before baseball even started, my goal was to be a professional dirt bike racer, but then I grew. I was no more.
Dirt bike racing. What else did you do besides baseball?
Me and my dad are avid hunters. We hunt nonstop whenever we can. That's our connection. That is our connection. We really bond growing up and now, which as soon as Instructs ends, I'm actually driving out up to Northern California. We're going to go duck hunting, and then from there we're going out to Oregon with some of my uncles, some of his brothers, and we're going to go elk hunting.
Do you have any other athletes in your family?
No. My dad's mom's brothers and my grandfather's brothers, they played in what they call the Beats League in Colorado, when the first semi-professional baseball team in Colorado in the Mexican colonies, the Greeley Grays. They actually wrote a couple books based on the Greeley Grays and all that, and my family's pretty much the whole book.
What great stories came out of the Greeley Grays?
I don't know. I never got to meet any of them. My dad's the youngest of six. And so I never got to meet any of his uncles, or I never got to meet my grandfather, so I never could ask.
You playing baseball, you've been on talented teams before you got into organized baseball. Where have you had to travel to play?
Everywhere. I played in Georgia, Florida, Minnesota, and then all along the western states. So it's always been a lot of flying and driving to play places.
Who was a big-time coach who really made an impression on you?
Probably D. Brown. He's actually our Northern California area scout who scouted me. He's kept me playing, taught me everything I know, along with my dad. And, I couldn't ask for someone better to keep my life. He's like a mentor to me. He's family to me, so it's been a huge influence on my life.
I know how important a swing is to a hitter. Was there a moment when you found your swing, or has that just been a work in progress?
The swing's always a work in progress, but then again, I've always had what I need to have to get to where I am. It's been a long first year. I've never had to play like this, but I'd say the swing mechanics have never been an issue. It's always been a mental, something mental going on. But it's been good.
When did you first start being called Rowdy?
Before I was even born.
How did your family come to the term saying that would be your nickname?
I was in my mom's stomach and didn't know if I was a boy or a girl yet. And so my grandma said, hey, that's Baby Rowdy, because I moved around, kicked, punched so much that the name just stuck, And my grandma, to this day, my dad's mom does not know my actual legal name, which is Ryan.
Joined by the Lugnuts' Rowdy Tellez, what is the biggest hit you've ever had?
Probably the game on national TV. We were playing in the All-American, the Perfect Game All-American. I came up in the bottom of the 8th. We were down 3-2 and 2 strikes at a 2 RBI triple at Petco Park. And that gave us the win. We ended up winning 5-3.
Is that the nicest stadium you've ever played in?
Played in, yeah. Been in, no, either Seattle or AT&T Park where the Giants play. I got to take pre-draft batting practice and do all the stuff there.
What major league team did you grow up rooting for?
Giants, for sure.
Who was your favorite player?
To be honest, he didn't even play for the Giants. It was Jim Tomei growing up and Adrian Gonzalez were my 2 guys that I always liked to watch play.
Did you ever try pitching, or were you always a hitter?
I tried pitching, but it was more just, you have a good arm, throw the ball. Never was a pitcher.
Joined by the Lansing Lugnuts' Rowdy Tellez. All right, so that's your biggest hit. What is the farthest you've ever hit a baseball?
Either I hit one in high school that they estimated was probably 500 feet. I hit it over a fence, then over a house, and then into the neighbor's front yard across the street. or one I hit at the River Cats Stadium, which is AAA for the A's. I hit one over the berm in right field that cleared, and they went out of the stadium. They said they haven't seen a ball hit like that.
Was there a different feel when you made contact?
Yeah, both times. Just kind of knew it off the bat. Get to be a little, a little showboat around the bases.
So what's the next thing that you're working on?
Getting to the majors, into the big leagues, and being a well-rounded player and being a better person.
Speaking of that, between last year and this year, how are you already growing?
Well, I got taller, but
what were you when you were drafted?
About 6'3". I'm about 6'4". But just the maturity factor, being able to handle a long season and staying consistent throughout the season, being a good teammate on and off the field and producing on the field.
Something that someone pointed out, you began slowly last year, and then you got hot as the year went on. You began slowly this year in Bluefield, and then suddenly you heated up. Is there any reason for that?
No, I don't think so. I think it's kind of just a coincidence. I mean, when I signed last year, I signed really late, didn't do much over the summer. I had a high school swing, I'd say big leg kick, so when I saw these guys throwing 95 consistently, I was getting beat all the time. And then in Bluefield, I wouldn't even say I started slow. I was just hitting the ball hard right at people, at everybody, People were making good plays in the outfield, diving plays, robbing home runs, and, the ball wasn't falling for me. And then a couple flares and a couple hard hits, and I'm back in it, and somewhere around 300, and then I got the call up. So.
Where were you when you got told that you were being called up to Lansing?
I was on a bus coming back from Burlington, North Carolina, where the Royals are. And we had just been swept, so I wasn't too happy. And I had my headphones on, but no music. And our head coach was like, "Are you listening to me?" And I was like, "Yeah, I knew exactly what you said." But I was kind of in shock, so I had to go back up and be like, "Hey, are you being serious? I'm really going to Lansing?" He was like, "Yeah." So "You're leaving tomorrow morning." And I was like, "Okay."
What were you told when you walked in here and met with JT?
He was like, "Hey, how you doing?" And I was like, "What's up, JT?" And I'd met him in Instructs the previous fall. And he goes, "Well, did you see the lineup?" I go, "No." He goes, "Well, you're in it." And I was like, "All right." And he was like, "Hitting fourth, playing first." I was like, "Sounds good. I'll be there."
When you get up to home plate, is there something that you're thinking in your mind with regard to that pitcher and the defense that you see? Do you take up there a plan?
Yeah, everybody has an approach. I don't worry about how the defense is set up or that, and I don't ever give the pitcher any credit. The pressure's always on him. It's never on me to get a good pitch. He's got to make that. He's got to make his pitches, and more than not, he's going to probably miss his spots. And that's when you capitalize on those mistakes.
Something that's notable about you, with all your power, you do not strike out that often. What's your two-strike approach?
Same thing as it's been, with an 0-0 count. I don't choke up. I don't take anything out of my swing. I keep it the same, and I just hit.
Has there been a teammate who's made a very positive impact on you?
There's been a couple. I mean, Matt Dean, when I first met him in Bluefield, he helped me a lot with the situation. And then a couple other guys like Andy Burns helped me. I got to meet him and do all that. And then I've always been around guys who played professional baseball, like Derek Lee and Greg Vaughn. And then my area scout played professional baseball, Sandy Alomar and Robbie Alomar. Those type of guys I've always had in life to help me through my whole situations.
Who is the most impressive person you've ever met?
Oh, man. There's been a lot. Probably the person I have the most respect for is, as corny as it sounds, is my dad. It's always been something. A lot of people say a father and a son have always kind of been distant, but I've always felt like we've been closer. He's, like a best friend to me. But in probably the real world, I wouldn't say the real world, but in baseball, someone who had a huge influence on me was Derek Lee.
And finally, who's the person in baseball that you want to meet next the most?
I don't know. That's a hard one. I want to meet Jim Thome. He's not in baseball anymore, but I really, really want to meet him.
What would you say to him?
Can I have your swing and your power?
Rowdy Tellez of the Lansing Lugnuts, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks for having me, Jess.
I'm Jesse Goldberg-Strasser, and this is Lugnuts Baseball on Big Country 92.1.